Hey everyone, today I'm gonna build a desktop PC for video editing and a little bit of gaming, and the goal of this project is to finish it for less than $1,000, and hopefully at the end of it you can build your own PC. So let's get started. Let's talk about parts for our build. First up is our processor. I decided to go with the Ryzen 7 3700X, which has 8 cores, 12 threads. When it comes to video editing, it makes a huge difference to have a processor with a lot of cores and threads. This processor should also be able to handle most of the games pretty easily. Let's talk about our motherboard. This is where you'll keep your CPU, RAM, graphics card, SSD, etc. And your motherboard basically makes them all work together. I decided to buy MSI MPG B550 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi, which has tons of features and inbuilt Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This is compatible with our Ryzen 5 processor and is also compatible with newer Ryzen 9 5900X CPUs. For graphics card, I was able to buy 4GB MSI GeForce GTX 1650 Ventus XS OC edition. With the ongoing shortage of graphics cards, is the only one that I was able to find. However, I recommend getting GeForce 1660 or higher with at least 6GB of RAM. For RAM, aka memory, we got Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4. This is 2 sticks of 16, a total of 32GB of RAM at 32 MHz. If you have extra cash to spare, I recommend getting a 3600 MHz. Since our processor is also at 3600, you'll get slightly better performance out of that combination. For storage, it's a good idea to have a smaller M.2 SSD where all your applications like operating system or video editing software or gaming applications will run, and have a bigger SATA drive to store your actual data. For our M.2 SSD, I got Samsung 970 EVO Plus, and for our SATA drive, I got 1TB Samsung 970 EVO. For power supply, we have EVGA 600BQ bronze, which is a 600 watt power supply. Bronze meaning it's better at power utilization compared to a standard power supply. They also have silver, gold, and platinum, which are even better and also pricier. For this build, 600 watt power supply is plenty. However, if you want to be super safe, you can get a 700 watt power supply. Finally, for our case, we have NZXT H510. This is a really good looking case with decent airflow and 2 standard fans that come with the case. At the end of the video, I will include a price breakdown for all the parts used in this build. Alright, let's put things together. You would need a blade to open things, obviously, and some screwdrivers. Those are the tools you pretty much need for this project. Let's open the case now. Take your blade and just run it across. Alright. Okay, gotta lay it down a little bit. It seems like it's got stuck somewhere. There you go. And we can use this empty box to put our trash as we build it. Alright. Looks good so far. You want to make sure that you've taken off all the plastic wrappers on all the parts during the process. So to remove the case's side panel glass, you basically need to unscrew this on the back. Then once you unscrew it, just lift it up like that. You gotta be careful, so I'm gonna keep this in the box of the case if you don't break it. Alright, looking at the mounting points for the motherboard, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these spacer looking things, this is where your motherboard mounts. I see 9 mounting points in here, and has inbuilt fans that it comes with. It's pretty cool. It's a really good looking case. So the first thing you want to do is open your power supply. I got a 600 BQ, which is plenty. The reason I'm opening the power unit first is you want to make sure you're free of static energy. So what you can do is you can basically use your power supply to ground yourself. It's a semi-modular power supply, and you have all the cables that you can use as necessary. Then what else do we have? We have tie-ups, some screws, and a user manual. So what we're going to do, we're going to plug this into the outlet, and every time we touch, we make sure that we are discharging any static electricity that's built up in your body. So it's safer because some of these components are sensitive, so you don't want to touch them if there is static energy built up in your body. Alright, now I plug this into the outlet. So while I open the motherboard or any other component, I'm going to frequently keep touching this, so we are grounded at all times. And you want to make sure that it's turned off. It doesn't have to be on. Just plug it in and make sure that it's on off position. Alright, let's open the motherboard. We have the motherboard itself. Some cables. This is a SATA cables, and we have antennas for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And obviously we really don't care about the drive, the CD that comes with the drivers. You want to download the latest drivers online after you're done with installation. And they give you a little bit of small screws. These look like they're for your M2 SSD, to screw them to your motherboard. And then user manuals, some stickers, alright. You want to keep your user manual because you want to kind of look at the power diagram as we build this. Alright, let's put these to the side. What I'll do is I'll put it on top of it. And this is a little bit of sharp at the bottom. This is still good. The motherboard looks really nice. You know, this is where your processor, AMD processor, will go. These brackets where it latches onto, and we see huge heat sinks, which is really nice to keep your processor cool. And on top, this is where your CPU power goes, and this is the power for your motherboard. And then you have plenty system fans. You have 2 system fans here that you can connect to. And then going down a little bit, this is where your M2 SSD will go, and it has a little bit of RGB underneath these, which is pretty cool. And you have more system fans, and here this is where you'll connect your USB 3. More system fans, and then audio. Your audio will connect here, and this is your PCIe slot where you'll connect your graphics card. You have another PCIe slot, and you have an extra M2 slot right here. That's about it. And this is pretty nice because it kind of comes with the backplate attached for all your USB, audio, USB Type-C, as you could see, USB 3, your LAN, HDMI. So it comes attached with the back panel, so you don't really have to struggle when you put it in your case. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna open our processor. We're gonna try to install our processor. Let's open the processor, our AMD processor. And that's static free. That's your power supply that's plugged in. And this, what's in the box? Oh, there you go. That's where your processor is. Okay. Put this to the side. Some manuals. And this is the cooler, the processor cooler that comes with the processor, so you don't really have to buy an extra cooler fan. This comes with the package. So what I'll do is alright, looks pretty nice. So you have this RGB cable. So we'll only be using one of these. We'll use the USB one, not the other one. You get your thermal paste pre-installed. So when we put the processor together, you just install this on top of it. Alright, you really don't want to touch this area because of thermal paste. Alright, so let's install the processor on our motherboard now. Alright, let's install our processor onto the motherboard, and this is where it goes. So what we want to do is this little latch here, and you should like push it down to the side and then lift it up like this, just like that. Now you want to open the processor. So the key here is line up your processor with the small triangle mark that you can see on the side. So what you want to do is you want to line up your processor with a small triangle mark that you see on one of the corners. So on the motherboard you'll see it on this side, and on the processor you can see a small triangle right here. So you want to match up these two so you know how to align the processor. There you go. So it just slides in really easily. You don't really have to do anything. You don't have to push or anything. And again, don't touch top of it. If you want to make sure that it's in, just like wiggle it on the side. And as you can see now, you can see the triangle on the processor and on the motherboard. They're on the same side. This is how you know how to put it in. Then you want to push your lever down to the side and in. So now it's in. Now your processor is locked. Alright, now let's install our CPU fan. So the brackets you see on the side, these latches that you see on the sides of the fan are going to connect to these two brackets on the side. So there are no screws involved. It's gonna need a little bit of force while installing it, but it should be pretty easy. So installing your fan, first you want to kind of start with one of the latches on the right. So I'm going to start with the one that doesn't have the tightening fastener on it. So you want to like tighten this fastener when you're done installing. But first I'm going to start with this one. So you want to just line it up into the latch there, and then you just want to like kind of place it. And then once you do that, see, it just latches on this side. Now your fan is installed, but you want to make sure that you're using this lever to tighten the connection. So it needs a little bit of force. Just push it down a little bit with your hand, and then you just, that's it. So now we're done with installation of your fan. Everything looks good. And this is your CPU fan connector. As you can see, there's a CPU fan pin right here. So you would just connect it just like this. There you go. And that's it. Your CPU fan is installed, and you want to like kind of tuck these behind. So make USB on it. You want to take that out, and it's a 3-pin connector, and it only goes into one of the sockets here, so you won't really mess it up. You just line that up, and line that up like so. And you'll take the other end of the connector, which says USB, and you have to find one of the USB sockets here. I have two USBs right here. It says USB 1 and USB 2. You can see this is a 7-pin connector, and one of the holes here is a blank, and it perfectly lines up with your USB port on the bottom right. So you want to line that up and plug in mine into USB 1 port, and like so. Now that's connected. We're gonna cable manage this at the end of it, but for now we're just gonna leave it as is. Let's install our M2 right here, where you can see it comes with a heatsink, and you have another M2 slot down below, but I'm gonna install my M2 on the port that's close to the CPU. So you wanna unscrew right here. Screw it and lift it up. It didn't unscrew all the way. There you go. Like so. Lift it up. The screws are still intact. There is a plastic on the bottom of it. you want to make sure that you peel it off. You don't want any plastics hanging around. And put this to the side for a second and keep the, and then open the M2 that I have right here. So mine is an M2 NVMe SSD. So what you want to do is you want to line up this slot that you see on the right into your M2 slot. So align it, push it a little bit in. You'll hear a small click. Screws that came in your motherboard box. These are the ones that you would use to install your NVMe M2 slot right here. So you want to take one of these screws out. And you're going to carefully place it right here. And now we're going to find a screwdriver for this. You don't really need to over torque it, just hand tight. Push it down and there you go. Right, now you just put the heatsink back plate on top of it. There you go. Like it so. There you go. You put the screw there. Again, hand tight it. Alright, now your M2 is installed. Alright, now let's install our DDR4 32 gigabytes of RAM into the RAM slots that you see right here on the motherboard. There are four slots, but if you only have 2 sticks of RAM, there's a particular order you need to follow. So for this, we're gonna bring up our user guide for the motherboard. So this is the architecture diagram of where everything is on your motherboard, and you could see after that installing your RAMs. So this clearly says always insert memory module in the DIMM-A2 slot first. So basically what that means is if you have 2 sticks of RAM, then you want to install those onto your A2 and then B2 slots. So we can see from the architecture diagram, A2 is the second slot and B2 is the slot 4. So that's where we'll be installing our RAMs. So let's open our Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM. We don't really care about that. Alright, there you go. And then put it to the side a little bit. And then take one stick first. There you go. And then we're gonna, so you have to line up the groove that you see right here into the RAM slot. So we're gonna install it on the second and fourth slot, which is A2 and B2. So you wanna flip these tabs to the side. No, only one of them to the side. So this case seems to line it up. I want to make sure that, see, you gotta make sure, take off any of the plastic that you may have. I think those are fine. Line it up. There you go. And then this tab closes itself. And you're gonna take the second one, open the tab again, right here, line it, and push it enough so this tab closes itself on. As you can see, as I push it on, there you go, close itself. So now our RAM is installed. Now let's put the motherboard in our case. Alright, now we're gonna put our motherboard into the case. I already took off the glass panel on the front earlier, so I'm gonna take off the back panel as well. So for this, you would just want to unscrew these two tabs here, these screws here. Okay, unscrew them. That's it. And put this to the side. Alright, now we're going to install our motherboard in here. We have 9 mounting points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One of these in the middle, it's like a placeholder. Oh, this is also a screw. Alright, we're going to put our motherboard in, screw these 9 mounting points. So the way you want to go about this is you can lift it up. You can lift it up with your CPU fan, strong enough. It's mounted strong enough, so shouldn't be any problem. And oh, goes this way. You want to be careful though, don't drop it. So you want to align your back plate to the slot that's open right here. So you'll see a slot right here. This slot is where you'll align your back plate of your motherboard. So slowly place it back in. Alright. There you go. Now it's pretty nice. I can see. Alright, so I aligned the motherboard with the back panel. As you can see, lines are pretty nice. And so out of the 9 mounting points, the middle one right here on the middle row, so middle mounting point, the screw kind of is like a placeholder, like sits in here. Doesn't seem like you really have to screw it in, it just kind of keeps everything in place. So you'll have to screw in other 8 mounting points. This is the box that was in the case that we removed earlier. This is where we'll find the screws for our motherboard mounting points. So let's open this up. Seems like we got some screws and some zip ties for our cable management at the end. Lots of screws. We'll find the screws for our motherboard. So I was looking at the case manual and it says 632 5mm screws that I found in the box that I opened earlier. These are the screws that you would need to install your motherboard. 1, 2, 3. That's gonna be tricky. Alright, so let's and slowly start screwing them in. You want to hand tight, you don't want to like really over torque them and break the motherboard. So I'm gonna screw all of these 8 in. Okay. Alright, so I have installed all 8 screws on the motherboard mounting points. So the motherboard is set now, it's stable. Now we're gonna move on to installing the graphics card. Alright, let me open this. Unboxing, graphic card unboxing. Alright, let's just right here. Can you see? Alright. The user manuals. And here is the graphics card. Put the box away. Let's install. So this obviously will go into your PCIe slot that you can see right here. First, we want to align it and decide on how many of these back plates that we're going to remove. So here on the back, you know, this is where you want to decide how many of these panels you want to remove for your graphics card. So from what I can see, it looks like we need to remove the second one and the third one. So let's do that. So what you want to do is unscrew these right here. Bigger screwdriver. Unscrew this back panel. This is tough. There you go. Put this to the side. Like I said, we're going to remove these two, the second one and the third panel. Unscrew these. Alright. Put this to the side. And we're going to take our graphics card. I'm going to remove the protective case for your PCIe connector. Put it to the side and let's see. you want to align your graphic card groove that you can see right here. So you want to align this groove that you see right here with the slot you see right here on the PCIe connector. And before you do that, you want to unlatch this. So this is engaged, so you want to loosen this so this one freely fits in there, and like you saw, and press it down. There you go. And I see that the lever on the side pushed itself back in to lock it, and as you can see, it fits perfect. There you go. And take this out. I'll leave those on. Graphic cards, we're going to screw these back in on top. Again, just hand tight. You don't have to be. You don't need to use too much force. Alright. Let's go. There you go. So like that. I'm just going to hand tight these for now because we don't know if we need to remove it again. And there you go. And this graphic card that I have right now, 1060, it doesn't need external power like an 8-pin connector or anything. It just works off of power that comes from the PCIe slot itself. So you don't need to really connect anything else. So this completes our graphic card installation. It looks perfect. Alright, moving on to installing the power supply. As you can see, it's a semi-modular design, which basically means you have some connections built in, but some you can choose. We can choose which ones you want to connect. This is the power for your motherboard, and this is for your CPU. Alright, so the way you want to install your power supply is you want to have the fan facing down, so it sits right on top of the ventilation openings that was provided on the case. So you and then just need to screw these 4 holes right here with the screws provided with the case. We got 4 632 hexagon screws. Just going to use those to screw them in place. And screw them in. There you go, your power supply is now installed. Alright, before we move on to the cable management, we can install our SSD. Here I have a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. This is where it's a 1 terabyte SSD where we're going to store all our data. The M2 slot, which we installed on the motherboard earlier, that's to keep your softwares like your operating system or video editing software, that kind of stuff. So let's install the SATA SSD. And for this case, it will be installed right here. You have space for 2. You want to take this bracket off, put the SSD on top of it, and put it back on. So I'm going to unscrew one of the panels. this off and take out your SSD. And this will go right here, just like that. Right. Now we want to use the screws that were provided with the case. We got some M2 5mm flat and 3 screws. So you'll have these in your case. So you're gonna take 4 of these. Just gonna screw them in. Again, hand tight. You don't really need to over screw them. Right, and then we'll put this back, and your SATA and your power goes at the bottom. And you want to let it snap, and put the screw back in. There you go. Now the SSD installed. We'll move on to cable management, connect everything up. Alright, we're gonna start connecting the cables now. We'll start with the 2 big connectors that we got with this power supply. One of them is the big one that you see here. This is the connector that powers your motherboard, and then you have an 8-pin connector which is for your CPU. So let's route this. Let's take the connector that powers your motherboard and move it to the side, just like that. And then we'll use the 8-pin connector that powers your CPU, and then run it from the top, just like that. And we'll tuck it to the side. I'm gonna lay flat now so you guys can see better on how I'm gonna connect this. Alright, we're gonna connect our 24-pin ADX connector that powers our motherboard. So as you can see right here on your motherboard, it says ATX PWR. That basically means this is where you connect your ATX power. So you line that up, connect 20 pins. There you go. Need to use a little bit of force, but that's okay. And then after you install the 20 connector, then put in your 4 connector pin as well. That's it, we're connected. The ATX power is now connected. Now we're gonna connect the 8-pin connector that came with the case right here that I've routed from the top of the case to 8-pin connector right here that says CPU. Alright, so this is where we connect our 8-pin connector to power our CPU. On your motherboard you can say it says CPU power, so this is where you connect. Okay. Alright, now let's connect all the cables. Let's start with the SATA cable. So this is the SATA cable that came with the power supply, and it says SATA on it. So you want to connect this end to your power supply. Might be hard for you to see, but it's pretty straightforward. Just connect it to your power supply where it says SATA on it. Okay. Then you want to just take one of these cables. There you go. There you go. Alright. There you go. Clicks. So our SATA is in. We're going to route all these cables to our motherboard now. So first we're going to start with the case fans. So this case came with two fans, one up there, one on the side. So as you can see, the case itself comes with two connectors for your fans. So I'm going to route these underneath, and then we're going to connect them to our motherboard. Alright, these two fan cables, we're going to connect the first one onto the fan connector right here. There you go, that's one. Then we just find, on yours, you may have to just find it wherever you can find a fan connector. So there's one right here, there's one right here. We're going to connect this one over there. There you go. Alright, now we have both of our fans connected. Now we're going to connect these cables that came with the case. They connect to your front panel of your case. So this is your USB 3 connector, and this one is your audio connector, which says HD audio, and this is for your front panel, which is basically your power switch cable. And this one is your USB-C connector. So we're going to route these to the other side and then connect them to the motherboard. Alright, so we have all the cables to the front side of the motherboard. So we're going to start by connecting our SATA. So this is the SATA cable, and here it says SATA 1, SATA 2 on your motherboard. I'm just going to connect it right here on SATA 1. Like yourself. There you go. So now the SATA is connected. After that, we're going to connect our USB-C type. So it says right here USB 4, which is nothing but your USB type C. Alright, so now your USB 3 is connected. Now we're going to connect our front HD audio. So here on the side right there, it says J audio, as you can see right there. That's where you want to connect your audio. Line it up with the empty slot on top. Then okay, that's connected. Then you want to connect your USB 3, which is right here. So for USB 3, it's helpful because it's blue color, and right here it says USB 3 on your motherboard, and you would just connect it right like so. May have to use a little bit of force. That's connected. Alright, finally we're going to connect our hard drive LED, power LED, power switch connectors to our motherboard. They're right here at the bottom, and you have the cables coming out that basically says hard disk LED, power switch, and power LED. So we're going to connect these up. For front panel connectors, use this diagram from your motherboard manual. The connectors indicate, for example, power LED plus and power LED minus. So you would want to include them in the respective slots as you see in the diagram. Follow the same procedure for power switch and hard drive LED. Alright, so our power switch, our hard disk LED and power LED, they're all connected right here. So we finished connecting all our cables. So I'm going to clean everything up and switch it on and see if everything is working as it should. Alright guys, I have closed the back panel, cleaned up all the cables, closed the back panel, closed the front panel, and I've attached the Wi-Fi antennas that came with the motherboard, and I've connected the power cable at the back. So let's turn it on and see if everything looks as it should. And first, turn on the power button at the back on the power unit, and click on the power button on the top. Great. I see both fans running. I see the CPU fan running, all the LEDs blinking, and RGB. Looks like everything is working as it should. So next, I'm going to install operating system and do some testing and make sure everything is working and booting up as it should. Here is a price breakdown for all the components. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them in the comment section. Thank you for watching.